What's up, everybody? Can't tell who's there. My stream thing won't load. Awesome. So today I thought I would draw one of the store backgrounds and show you guys a little bit about how some of the treatment stuff works.
Cool.
We always have to kind of do less with more, given how tiny our team is. And so I'll drag the game over. Does that work?
How tiny is it?
There's only 5 of us. So this is the game, and this is the tavern area of the game. And so essentially what you do is you take stressed out heroes and you drop them in these different activities to bring their stress down while you go out adventuring with your other guys. So I can select a dude, I don't have any money, give myself some cash, and then you drop them in. So obviously there's going to be some effects and stuff like that, but we wanted to sort of sell the idea of putting them in taverns but keep them with these little sort of like headshot trading card things. So I kind of cooked up this idea of they're almost like little advent calendar kind of deals, so no matter where you put them you kind of get a different frame depending on what the activity is. And then as you upgrade you unlock new slots, so you can see the boards came off there. And it also reduces other things that Tyler can talk about, designy things. Cost by 14%, always a slam dunk in my book. And then the Abbey works the same way.
Doing a Darkest Dungeon Advent calendar?
Yes, we are.
Is that a Kickstarter?
Yeah, we're gonna kickstart it. So you can see the Abbey works the same way with the 3 stress reduction activities here: meditation, prayer, and flagellation.
My bad.
Yeah, on a tangential note, is somebody been playing with the Leper Colony or what?
Yeah, my bad. Oh.
I was like, what is going on? So yeah,
arts.
Yeah. Every screen has got a bit of a different setup. You can see, like, when you load somebody in here, we use up all this room to show all the skills and stuff that you can buy. And then there's always a character, and then I wanted to have like just sort of a suggestive background behind, just to kind of fill out the black space, and just really help ground it that that's where you are without, you know, trying to oversell it, like fill the entire screen with like this super detailed drawing of a tavern and, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to draw some bottles on the wall and drag this out of the way and see how it goes. I'm going to either try to color it just like the character, but I'm worried it's actually going to compete. So one of the ideas I've been playing with is maybe just keeping it dark gray, just so that, you know, all this stuff really pops, because this is like gameplay relevant, and then this is kind of like, he pretty much says everything there needs to be said about the tavern. So like, he's the lead guitar in this band, and this is like the rhythm section back here, so I don't want to have, you know, fucking specularity and all these little worms in the tequila and, you know, like all sorts of crazy detail and render it all out, because it'll actually flatten this screen out. He'll blend into the background, which will then blend this side of the screen to this side of the screen. So we'll see kind of how it goes.
That's cool. Be cool to put like a blur effect on the back, I think, possibly too.
Yeah, that's another thing we can try. No colors and lines, and colors and blurs.
Is blur like our
it's the tooltip of art.
It's the lens flare of the Darkest Dungeon.
Well, considering we don't use it anywhere but in the combat just yet, I wouldn't say that it was our go-to.
It just comes up as like this will solve everything. If we
it's like this in Steadicam. I'm just like, I've just been wanting this stuff for so long. Okay.
So we had a question backlog from last week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're already starting with like 8 questions.
Yeah, let's do questions from this week first, and then if questions slow down, then we hit old favorites.
We should actually say too.
I'm only gonna answer the old questions from that they're in the chat. So like some people are here again.
Oh, you're cross-referencing. Okay.
Well,
I think
that's a fancy term.
Start with the questions du jour, and then
we should remind people too.
A party bar fight.
Hold on. We should say about the oh my god, my brain. The backer poll that just went out today. Yes, we should just remind people about that in case that they haven't seen that email from us.
Can you
Go ahead.
I guess
give
that
an
was
update, Tyler, about
I was trying to hand it off so I could start drawing.
Well, Keir's the voice of like information, and so I thought he would give the survey commercial. Yeah, you guys, obviously a bunch of you already voted, so we sent out a backer poll again. It's just a really short one, but on how to theme the merchant class. So if you guys backed at $20 or higher and you haven't seen an email, let me know. It should have, I think it went out to 8,000 people, 7,000 people or something. I had to bring the two databases together today, the Kickstarter plus the Humble widgets, and then filter it, and it was like 7,100 people that have backed at $20 or higher. So that was crazy. It's a lot of people, and it's nerve-wracking to send things to 7,000 people because you're like, what if I put a horrible typo? Anyway, thanks for voting. It's just a little thing, and it's we won't make the class till a little later, but it's fun to. We're trying to make sure to incorporate or include you guys in some of the discussions that we're having, stuff like that. Last I saw, I think I enabled the thing where you get to see instant results as you're going.
Yeah.
But you guys are all the keeners, so you probably saw right away when there's still thousands of people yet to vote. But last I looked, it was pretty close actually.
Yeah, they're all within 10% of each other. I've got the thing up here. Just reload. 2,300 respondents.
Wow.
Top choice is the Silk Road, then Nomad, then Pirate, but they're only separated by, the Silk Road and the Pirate are separated by exactly 10% right now.
Oh, that's getting bigger.
It's slowly creeping up, yeah. But the Nomad is like at 33.5%, and the Silk Road's at 38%, so they're actually only 3% apart.
And I did if you're wondering, I randomized how they're presented. So to remove the bias of like the first image people see or things like that. So every person who opens it gets a different order of the three.
Oh, really? That's smart.
Yeah. And then
Realbuck said we should have done like preferential voting. Like rank your choices or whatever.
Yeah, I thought about that. And then, we could have done weight. So if people are on the fence, then they can put in kind of...
This is not a game for sitting on the fence, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, you gotta make a call.
It's a game for hard decisions with lasting consequences, like, I should have voted Pirate. Yeah, that's fun, though. That's impressive. 2,000 responses in, like, an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Can you do those surveys like that where it's first to 1,000 wins?
Well, it's a survey. Why are we winning?
Oh, no, I'm just curious. Like, rather than over 30 days, it's like first to a certain number is the class that...
Oh, I see.
That wins. I'm just curious if that's a possibility. Because we're using, like, some survey.
Yeah, the downside is, like, you don't want to penalize people for not looking at their email 8 times a day. If I'm understanding you correctly. So, like, I forgot to check my email. Oh, it's too late. Your vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
We love all of our backers, regardless of how much they check their emails.
I'd just be interested to see how that would differ the results. Yeah. Just because you could see people, like, rallying suddenly a lot harder.
Quick! If you're in Team Pirate, you got to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to answer some questions, Tyler?
Heck yeah.
Any chance for a party bar fight? I think health damage for the next raid would be a cool dungeon, or a cool activity result.
That's definitely possible. I don't think it's in right now, but we could do something like that. We have things, the side effects system is kind of cool. So, you could easily exit wounded. We could put that in.
So, I mean, people may not understand exactly how that stuff works.
Right. So, all the activities, the important thing is all 3 bar activities and all 3 abbey activities their primary goal is stress reduction. So, they're not mini games, and you don't go in there and click on a bunch of stuff or anything like that. It's basically different ways that you can assign people to spend their off time. And while they're in there doing an activity, you can't use them on a quest. So, you have to go group up a different party, which is, of course, by design. So the main thing is you dropping them in, and then after you do the quest with the other characters, you come back and you'll see how it went. You'll see how much stress they recovered, and like what kinds of things happened to them. And a variety of things can happen to them, and it depends on the activity, what kind of side effects can happen, and stuff like that. So it can be influenced by a little bit their class, but also your upgrading of the buildings and stuff like that. But we want you to learn kind of over time what sort of different side effects can happen in each activity, and we're not going to tell you up front. So that's a little part of it, enjoying the game. Like you'll kind of see a split in the game between things that we tell you everything, like, hey, this is +3 accuracy, and then things that we're intentionally vague about, and we want you to discover through play. So we kind of want you to be surprised at the things that might happen, when they go to certain of these activities. And those can range from just, increasing how much stress they recover to other kind of weird and unexpected things. Such as, I don't know, I can give one example, I guess. You're in the bar and you come back and check, or you send a guy to the bar and you come back and you check on him, and he's, all you see is he went on a drunken bender and no one's seen him since, and he's not in the slot.
It's such a fucking dick thing to do. I love it.
Which was actually a result of me misunderstanding what Tyler wrote down on the task.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, they can go missing now, and you were like, that's not what I meant, but let's keep it.
Yeah, I played a mission the other day before the game was getting all crashy on me, and I came back to town, and it's like my Vestal saw something awful at the church and refuses to pray anymore. I'm like, well, shit. Because she has a class bonus to prayer or whatever it was, meditation.
Mm-hmm. And it's fun because all those things are thematic and geared towards the activity. And some activities are more expensive than others. It doesn't necessarily mean they're strictly better. Generally, the more expensive, the more chance of it healing more stress. So there is a reason why it's more expensive, but you kind of have to weigh in what your class is and what quirks you have, because it's really common to have quirks that prevent you from doing some activities, or mean you have to do an activity. Like if you're an alcoholic, you'll only drink and you won't do any other activity for stress reduction.
So if your favorite guy has that quirk, that'll inform how you decide to upgrade the town, essentially.
Yeah, and then when you come back,
I've got to make sure I got a drinking slot for my crazy highwayman or whatever it is.
Yep.
So we got a question specifically for you, Tyler, from Jesse.
Jesse, enjoyed Jesse's stream yesterday. Jesse drawing a bunch of cool stuff on the Slick Entertainment Inc. channel.
Just makes me feel shitty. I don't like his streams because he's really good. And just fills me with jealousy and bile.
If you guys haven't checked it out, I think we mentioned that they're working on Viking Squad, but they released a trailer about 2 weeks ago. It's really cool. Yeah, go Google Viking Squad announced trailer. Excuse me, and it's a neat brawler, lane-based brawler. I know we mentioned it to some of you guys before, but if you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out. Anyway, what's the Jesse question?
Will a gambler ever pay out for the player, or is it just a money sink?
No, it can pay out. But it's not really like I mentioned, a mini game. So you don't go in there and then it's like you're playing Fable or for that matter Red Dead, and then you're like, oh, there's a whole entire Texas Hold'em game inside this game. So it's just an activity, and so there's as you might expect with gambling, some of the side effects that might happen are you lose money or you win money, and then there's some quirks that can tie into that.
Cool. Here's a suggestion from Sneaky Pie Brown. Will quirks increase the effectiveness of various activities, like an increase in luck when gambling?
Yes.
Totally.
That's a good idea.
You never know. Like, you can get a quirk that's like super focused on combat. You can get something that's a little bit more esoteric and you're not quite sure how it's going to affect your character, and you can get stuff that's related just to town. Like, I mean, so many quirks.
Yeah, we're trying to build a pretty robust system so that we can keep adding more and more interesting quirks. So we've actually been doing some design work on that this last couple weeks. and that's pretty fun. It's something we'll be continuing to add to throughout early access.
Can you pay for rumors or information from the barkeep?
That we have a design for a mechanic that ties that into the dungeons. I'm not sure if it's going in or when it's going in. But well, I mean, it's worth at least bringing up.
No, we talked about it for quite a while, and it's also like extra. Like it's a really nice complement to what's there, but we don't need it to deliver a really great game. So we don't know if we can get it in there, but it exists in a document.
Mm-hmm.
It has hopes and dreams.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Find I have to work really abstractly. I used to draw everything, and now I just kind of blob the blacks down first. Like, this is my sketch now. It's like so ugly, but it helps like avoid things like tangents and make sure everything reads a little bit easier.
So, like Antiloquist's comment, should we pay you for rumors or information? Yes, I'll give rumors of rumored features.
And then a picture of that guy's face, who I don't know who that is.
Alright, well, Keir doesn't drink, which is bullshit.
He drinks, but
I don't drink alcohol.
I think his favorite... Let me see if I can call your favorite drink. Mocha, vanilla, pumpkin, double sugar, extra whipped cream, chocolate sprinkles. Whenever he fills up his Starbucks card and he gets a free drink, then he tries to order the most ridiculous...
Blend a banana in it. They don't care.
Drink possible.
It's a free drink. You can do whatever you want. No, I'd probably go fresh squeezed orange juice. If I had to pick a favorite drink.
That isn't a drink. When you say, what would you like to drink? It's implied
fresh
alcohol.
Squeezed orange juice, I'm going to tip better, but normally they don't. So that's just how the dice roll.
Tyler, don't you like bourbon? Isn't that your deal? Or are you a fresh squeezed orange juice guy too?
No, if we're going just spirits, then bourbon, and particularly the Blanton's bourbon is probably the favorite one I've had so far. But if we're doing drink, then
#America.
I know it's too popular right now, but the old fashions, which made with bourbon, so those I could drink all night long. They're perfect blend of sweet or they're not that sweet, but they've got a tiny little bit and a little bit of orange peel, orange zest. But I wouldn't call myself a freshly squeezed orange juice guy only.
It's so hard to get it, but it's so easy to make.
I'm gonna guess Chris is Scotch, but I don't know what type of Scotch.
I like the really peaty Scotch. Stuff that tastes like you're just chewing on Irish farmland.
Yeah, like you're waiting around in a bog and it's up to your...
Yeah, and you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. And I found as I've gotten older, I don't get like drunk the same way. It's just about drinking now. Like, I can just keep drinking. But it's not like I'm like, well, actually, after PAX, maybe I should roll that back a little bit.
I was like, is this in time for an objection?
No, but my tolerance has gone way up, it feels like.
Well, no, your tolerance is high, and your tolerance of bouncing back is super high.
I don't fuck around at PAX. We're there to show the game. So no matter what happens the night before, I will be there yelling at people in front of the TV. That is my solemn pledge.
Though if we told you that there was actually a surprise next day, you'd be done.
What do you mean a surprise?
Like you plan it out. Like there's 4 days.
No, I don't plan it out. This is the difference between you and me. You would plan it out. I'm just like, holy shit, this is a good party. I don't want to leave tonight. I don't know what's going on tomorrow.
And
the fourth day in Boston would have said differently.
Kieran Brooks planned it out.
Yeah.
Oh god, the fourth day in Boston would have been it would have been ruinous. Ruin would have come to our booth.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that was like I was sick, not just hungover sick.
It wasn't just
sick.
a matter of, but it was our bodies being at the ends of their capability.
Yeah.
I also think in a small way, knowing that if you don't show up, I might be the only person there gets you there. Like,
I have nothing but confidence in you.
Yeah, well, but I think what he's
Having
referring
said
to
that,
is our fear that he might have to handle all the interviews by himself or something.
is the game going to be at Linux on launch day? Tetro75 is asking for a friend. Wink, wink.
Not early access launch. I don't know about full launch. I would say there's a good chance it'll trail launch a little bit. It just depends on our team and what we can get to.
Depends on how many bugs we get with the core launch, right? I mean, like if we're slammed with bugs, then no. But because it just doesn't make sense to do early access for like multiple platforms all at the same time, all on the same day.
I'm not even sure if we'll do Mac simultaneous for early access start.
I'm busy, bud. Did you get a new shirt?
But yeah, we also we're using SDL, which is a pretty well-known
That's awesome.
or popular kind of platform API. So the Linux version shouldn't be that bad, but I don't know. I've never really done a Linux version.
Yeah, sorry about that. My 4-year-old always comes down when I'm doing this. Got a Batman shirt, so.
I think PAX Prime, it helped knowing there was day 4. So it was like going into a boxing match and someone's like, you're not going to knock him out round 1. You're going to have to last, you got to last long and tire him out, and then you can. So it's like, I did definitely pace myself a little bit and felt good enough that we could have done another day if we had to.
A fifth PAX Prime day.
Yeah, I could have done it.
I could have done it. I could have survived it. Yeah. Alright, let's try something here.
That depression core, that's pretty much it. It's the human factors are crazy. It's like, because it's not just prepping for PAX. You go down there and you got to show up early to set up and then take down. And then, like at PAX East, we all got sick. And then PAX Prime, fortunately, I think only Brooks got sick, but still the recovery of everyone just...
Well, yeah, and we lost him for, what, a week after? So that comes right out of the schedule. Like, we literally paid for it.
So much fun, though.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Alright, so here we are in the game.
Do you guys want a nice comment?
Yeah.
From the nice fairy?
Yes.
Fairy being a boat, not one of those flying things. I think it's great there will be at least one more female class in the roster.
Yeah, us too. It's something when we started the game.
The Arbalist is female as well.
Yeah, the Arbalist is female. It's one of the things.
Actually, I hope they don't know that. So like, oh wow, another one, great.
Yeah, and then the backer voted class variant thing. That could go any direction. So I'm gonna tighten up the lines, but I kind of like that, just gray back there.
What about one of those basement bars with the window that's at a real weird height?
Well, the problem with that is, and that's a good idea, but I will be drawing a line parallel to all of these lines. I'm already doing that here with the tabletop, which I'm not wild about because there's so many horizontal lines here. And I'll end up it might tangent with the icon, or it'll clip his head, and then I can't show the bottles.
What if the background is all bottles?
It's just Bottle-palooza back there.
It's probably gonna need a lot of drinking in the dark, in this town.
Well, there's no doubt. I wanna move it down a little bit though.
It's looking really cool.
Oh, I'm just glad we have hot loading so I can work this way. It's hard to actually try and solve every problem without seeing it. This is not really amazing.
So hot loading, you guys, is cool because basically while the game is running, if you just replace the source file. So like if it's an image, you can just drop a new one in and it'll immediately load it while the game's running. This saves tons of time because a lot of times you have to like quit out of the game and rebuild the game and start again. And when you're doing that like all day, every day, it actually really wastes a lot of time. Like I have friends who work on the giant games, like Halo and shit like that, and it'll be like, oh yeah, you go to compile and it takes an hour, or so it's really cool when we're able to try stuff out and quickly see the changes.
Yeah, because we don't really have the time for the huge amount of automated build stuff.
No.
There's like those big teams, like the amount of stuff that's going on.
But you have like build engineers, like a team that just is devoted to doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's bullshit.
Build engineers are one of those weird positions where you almost like work your way out of a job. If you do your job well,
yeah,
you should only need to work like 10 minutes a day.
Which is why it's probably one of the hardest jobs to do, because you want to do it well enough that everyone thinks you're doing a good job, but poorly enough that they still need you.
Yeah.
That's a tall order.
We got a suggestion for just a pile of bottles, no shelf.
So he's in a recycling depot. So now I lowered this. Jesse said this on his stream. Like always, drawing less is better, right? Because I mean, he's the only artist on that project, and I'm the only artist on this one. So it's totally like you live and die by how much you add. And so by lowering this shelf, I have fewer bottles to draw, which is awesome.
Real Bucks wants to know, because Chris commented, any updates on the backer class?
Nothing yet.
Cool.
We're figuring out the merchant stuff first. We've got some other backer polls that we're gonna roll out over the coming weeks. Not all character stuff. Like we got some pretty cool environment kind of oriented polls to do. And when we get to that class, like a little bit closer, we'll start worrying about it. It's probably gonna be the last class we work on. So we've got Arbalist, Man-at-Arms, Houndmaster, the Merchant,
and then there's the Lord tier class.
Yeah, the Lord tier class that everybody gets. So I actually think the backer class is gonna, or the variant or whatever we're calling it, is gonna be probably the last class or the second last class that we work on. That's just my feeling, but
Cool.
I don't know. Could change. But.
Sneaky Pie Brown wonders, is there a particular reason why you don't all use a private channel?
For the streams?
I imagine that's what he was talking about. It was a week ago.
Well, the Indie Mega Booth was really good to us, and we got into PAX twice and probably wouldn't have been able to do it or do it as successfully without them. So it was kind of cool to sit on their channel and do the streams and give them some content. But we might transition over to our own thing soon. I'm talking about it.
Also, given the way Indie Mega, like Twitch channels can host other Twitch channels, it seems like it'd be an easier transition.
Yeah. We've been talking to some guys who are putting up like a big different indie games. I think Viking Squad is on that one too.
It's really cool that you can search by game now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you can just see all the people playing whatever game and not even worry about the channels.
I just really, really hope, I would love to see on the front page of Twitch sometime people streaming Darkest Dungeon.
Given it's probably at a smart front page, you'll see that. Because you'll probably be searching it a lot, so.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't want it though. Like, I don't want the Mercy view because I keep searching for it. I want it to be like legitimately from a fresh IP. I want to see it.
So incognito window.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Alrighty, here. Let's get this.
Yeah, it's like when I've searched for crows on Amazon just to check, see if it's available, and then Amazon keeps trying to get me to buy my own board game. I'm like, thanks, but no thanks.
It's like it's on sale.
Yeah, no, it does all the time. Like, as someone who's searched for crows in the past, we thought we'd let you know you can buy it. It's like, ah.
Does it bum you out? It's like on a dirt cheap, like, this must go sale.
Buy a copy of South Park Monopoly and get a free copy of Crows.
Yeah. No, at this point, I would be happy just to see it getting into people's hands because of all the drama with the publisher. Which is to say, just to not be vague booking is like there's drama with the publisher, and so then they've been fighting over who gets to sell the inventory with their investors and things like that. Meanwhile, the game designer over here is like, I don't care who's selling it, just give me my cut of the game that I made, please, thank you. So I don't know, it's a weird world, but it's like the math of, it's like the legal math of suing someone is always, do you stand to, are you going to make back the money that you're actually losing by going through? And it's like, no, not in the case of board games, not really. All right, hit us up. Suggestion train, nice fairy.
Suggestion train. So if you have a button for it, if you go to the tavern, can you be thrown out early due to starting fights?
Oh, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
How would we show early? Because we measure time in terms of the dungeon run, like your next dungeon.
It would be
run.
a result, right? Like it would say.
Yeah, so it'd be like he only deducted half stress because he was thrown out early.
He gained stress because he got into a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
he got into a fight but lost, so his stress is even higher. But if he gets into the fight and wins, then stress is still reduced.
Then there might be a mark against you where they won't let you back in the bar because you're rowdy.
Yeah,
I think it'd be cool to have like a Fight Club activity.
They had that in Fable 1. You could like go to this.
They have it
you could go to this like town in the middle of the night and stand in this spot, and all these shirtless dudes would come running up the hill and start beating each other up in this pit, and you could like join them, and if you won enough rounds in enough towns, I don't know, you got bigger biceps or whatever the reward was. But it was pretty funny to watch this this parade of like naked Frenchmen run up a hill, all wearing the same pants.
How'd you know they were French?
Well, they just looked French with their little culottes and toplessness.
Like they're in like berets.
Yeah, and big French breads and yeah.
Another suggestion: any chance of having a specific shrine called Pillar of Faith that can either remove one of your positive quirks or remove one negative quirk? It'd be entirely random. I could sometimes find them in dungeons.
Yes, we have things like that actually.
We do? That
cool.
Sounds cool.
Do you guys hear something nice?
Curios that can give you a quirk or take a quirk away, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think specifically that one was it's remove. It's always remove, but you don't know if it's positive or negative.
I see.
A quirk nuker.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that. Shit.
Budin Zabar said, "I absolutely love your art style." Thanks.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm in a stage of perpetual envy and jealousy right now with every other artist that I see anywhere.
Oh, brother.
It just happens. I just go in and out of it. It's like art depression. But the beauty of having so much work to do is that I can't afford to indulge it with self-loathing, taking time off, moping around, showering a lot. Like, there's just no time. So I just have to keep doing
it. Here's a crazy idea from Think Tank.
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, Crazy Taxi. He was on the Crazy Taxi and he says, "Church spire gets struck by lightning and collapses. Woe and curses upon us."
Yeah, like that's a great example of something we could do for the town events, which was like a stretch goal we unlocked during Kickstarter. And that's kind of like the types of things we had talked about, or like the plague is broken out, so now you can't send any plague doctors down to the dungeon because they're all needed in town or whatever, but they gain resolve just by virtue of staying in town. Just cool things like that to kind of change it up.
The cool thing about a collapsed church is it would probably need to be visually represented.
That's a really cool thing about it.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing.
That's probably my favorite
cool
part
to
of
see
it.
This crumbled church. Every building could crumble. It'd be great.
We're just gonna post a link in the actual game to a YouTube video of a church being demolished.
Hey, man, that worked for Planetary Annihilation.
Yeah.
Except they were like, here's our tutorial YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Well, bonus point, you can watch it on your way home. Be completely ready to play the game when you arrive.
I love games where there's enough interesting information that's not like in the game that's out there so that I can burn through it on my commute and stuff. Not just forums, but like tips and strategies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
had a crazy taxi idea.
Okay, shoot.
Am I allowed to voice my own crazy taxi idea?
Totally.
Yeah.
Is we work with someone to make like a fan-made like primarily game to get that ready before early access launch, so that on early access launch day there's already like a guide out there for, hey, you know, ready to dive in, here's a few tips, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. We should do that. We'd have to give whoever that person was, though, extra early access, right?
Yeah, we'd have to work with
Nobody
somebody
wants that.
Nobody wants that at all.
Rio Bucks wants to know how many fingers the bartender has.
4, buddy. Check it out.
Each hand?
Well, you can't tell because he's cleaning the inside of this glass, but
Looks like he has 3 on the other hand.
well, don't worry
I
about
thought
it.
we were 3-fingered.
No, I've had enough. We're 3 fingers on the small dudes when they're walking around because it reads better, so it's a better choice. But I don't like doing these ElfQuest characters.
What do you have against ElfQuest?
Nothing. It was formative for my youth, especially the.
What is ElfQuest?
It's like this crazy graphic novel before graphic novels were a thing.
Was it before they were all edgy and full of nudity?
No, but this was like one of the first ones that was all edgy and full of nudity. They have like an orgy in the 4th one before they go fight the trolls. It's like crazy stuff. So I was like 13 reading this, like, holy shit. People die, people go crazy. It's like really heavy. But they're all elves and they have 3 fingers. And I just don't want to do that on the big views. So I've actually updated all the town characters. I worked late at night one night and updated them all to have like 4 fingers.
Damn it.
Because I like it as a conceit for when you're in the dungeon view and you're dealing with those little dudes, because you don't need 4 fingers there. It's actually clearer to have 3, but I don't like the giant.
We got another art-related question from Sneaky Pie Brown. Why has everyone in the universe of Darkest Dungeon born without eyes?
Well, they have eyes, but they're so morose and downtrodden by things that have happened, and just how awful it is living in the shadow of such pure, unfettered evil, that I felt that they didn't need eyes. Eyes are window to the soul, and I think that's cool that these guys are like soulless and kind of lost. It's like this little Twilight Zone-y thing that happens outside of time and space. It's just pure, miserable Eddie Vedder land.
If you've seen our team portraits, you notice we're all in the same boat.
Yeah, very much.
We haven't seen too much. Or mine are probably burnt out from staring at the Steam top sellers lists every day for 12 hours a day.
Yeah, see, I get the art envy, and you get like the business envy. You're like, oh my god, this game released, it did so good.
Yeah, things like, and then right when my stress goes down a little bit, then it'll be like Goat Simulator, and then
we're right back to Hateful Tyler.
And those guys will be talking about, like, we didn't know what to do, so we spent 3 months and made a game that sold millions and millions of dollars. And then I'm like, why are we doing this the hard way?
You have to dust off your old Rabbit Simulator idea, and you were just too late.
Depression Core said something nice. Good detail on the Jester sketch, Chris. Lutes are played with the thumb on the same level of the palm of the hand, not above as guitars. And then one of those like winky, full mouth open faces, and then it says "You rock."
Oh, thanks. I don't know. I just did it like he was madly plucking. I like the idea that the Jester doesn't. We did this thing on Facebook where I have the colored ones, but I like the idea that he doesn't play.
I just dark.
Like nice music. It's like all jangly, discordant stuff that sounds like a seal getting its teeth pulled or something. Not like a really sweet ballad.
I feel like Facebook's hiding Darkest Dungeon from me because I didn't even see that.
Facebook controls how many people get your message, and then they try to ask you to pay so that you can actually reach the other people who like your page.
Really?
That's so greasy, because you work hard enough to get them to like your page in the first place, and then they charge you to get those exact people to see your stuff?
Yes.
Wow.
So you must just not be in the random group of lucky ones that...
Yeah.
I hope Mark Zuckerberg's doing okay, though, financially. I really hope he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's hurting a little bit, because he just spent $100 million on land in Hawaii. And so he's probably a little bit like,
he's down down a little
that
bit.
may have taken his free spending money for the week.
Yeah.
But now that I went to the page, it's visible.
Well, it should. I think still, if you go to the page, everything should be there. They haven't yet done that, but they throttle what reaches people, and then you pay, and then it makes sure that the middle-aged Lithuanian housewives see it, but no one else.
Shout out to Lithuania.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a middle-aged Lithuanian housewife,
Tyler's happy to have you on the stream.
Yeah, you're just probably the not in the majority demographic of the game.
Yeah.
So Wade D. McGinnis,
yeah.
Here's his crazy idea. If insanity levels get too high, can we have a care package involving a kitten?
I don't know that we will.
So it's in the crazy taxi, Chris.
Yeah, it is. I don't think a kitten would cut it, honestly. Tyler's constantly complaining about his cat jumping up on his keyboard. I wouldn't find that relaxing. That's like, hey, are you having a rough go? How about some more responsibility? Like, cool. Like when you're in university and your parents send you a care package, do you really want it to be like something that requires your time?
Yeah, like a tax thing.
Yeah.
Here's the tax software for the year.
Yeah. Don't forget to update your QuickBooks. Like, fuck.
You might be missing the whole biggest part of owning a pet, which is the enjoyable part. You're like, why would a cat reduce people's stress? Spoken from a man with too many responsibilities right now.
Yeah.
It's the petting and listening to them purr. And going, oh, this little thing needs me to survive. It's so cute. And then before it scratches your eyes out and you realize it doesn't actually care.
It doesn't give a shit about you. I had cats growing up. I know what they're all about.
Shit.
Yesterday I would have taken a house full of cats over what I walked home to. I walked in the door. Everyone is screaming. Turns out my wife fell down the stairs carrying our infant baby.
What?
The 4-year-old has never seen mom hurt, so he's completely beside himself. And all I did was open the door. It was like, silence, birds are chirping. Open the door. Ah! Madness. Anyway, everyone's okay. That's why I can tell it as a funny story, because, like, my baby's fine. It wouldn't have maybe gone that direction if things were worse.
No.
Chaos Bagel, hard-hitting question. Do any quirks actually let characters lose stress when facing a certain enemy? Like, they find it interesting and they like to see and learn more about it?
Oh, lose stress. That's
yeah.
interesting. Oh.
Like additional stress bonus when killing skeletons?
I think he's almost saying the reverse, like, no, let's not rush this fight. I'd like to study what this giant, poisonous, marauding giant is all about.
We have some of that, like, okay, so not exactly that, but with the custom strings per character class, you can kind of get some of that flavor. Like, the occultist is always fascinated by stuff. He always talks about how interesting things are. Even when he's at death's door because the boss summoned skeletons and is eating them alive, he's like, amazing.
Yeah, curious.
We got another crazy taxi idea. from Zedidal. Kitten with a small barrel of whiskey on the collar like those Saint Bernards.
Like a single shot.
Cats would be good for delivering messages.
Single shot whiskey.
If they actually had any sense of loyalty, yes, but they just wander off.
Yeah, they don't go where you need them to go. They'd be good for delivering a random message.
Yeah,
like, I want this message to reach a random person with no...
Like a contest winner. You're like, you win! You talk to my cat!
Yeah. I don't know why they... I mean, even my cat does this, and he's pretty affectionate, but he'll kind of bother you when he wants to be held or whatever, and then you go, come here, and you look at him, and he'll just sit there, just like, well, now that you asked, no, I'm not coming. And it's so funny how it's just genetically, it's just so different in a dog versus a cat. Like, they both have the social desire, but the cat is just like, now that you have told me what you want, I have a moral obligation to resist it. Anyway.
Cat talk with T-Sig.
Yeah. Shout out to Stormcrow.
Cat lines.
So Enzo4 last week asked, the drops from chests, dungeons, etc. will be also armor and weapons?
Negatory.
No.
Nice try. I see what you're doing there.
Roll.
Yeah, we're not doing gear or like loot drops in the same way as a lot of RPGs. Instead of focusing on trying to get like better gloves and things like that, really the reward is in the form of like the personality quirks. So if you beat a boss, instead of getting like a super awesome chest plate or whatever, you might actually get a really great personality quirk for one of those characters. So statistically we can accomplish the same thing, but it's actually all about the characters themselves, not just like the gear that they have on. And it's also like non-transferable, so that character beat the boss, you know, he's tougher for it. You're not going to roll back in town and be like, you can't transfer that to another guy, whereas with like a chest plate, you can just give it to somebody who never went, who never really earned it.
Cool.
We have trinkets. We've talked about trinkets, and you can equip two items, and they do help you a lot, and those give you that, those scratch the itch of, okay, that's really cool, and it's transferable and tradable and all that stuff between your heroes. Mm-hmm. And there are like kind of common ones and rare ones and stuff like that. So you have a little bit of that feeling with what you can put on them, but it's not like weapon slot, armor slot, ring slot, you know, hat slot, belt slot, sash slot, booties slot, etc.
Cat slot.
You played a game with a booty slot?
It's inappropriate.
So I take that's a no.
Booties, as in little things you wear on your feet.
Yeah, like you have a baby you carry around, and he has all his inventory slots.
Onesie, there should be a onesie slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trinkets are really interesting too because they're always like a trade-off. So you never get like just a trinket that's like plus 10 damage, period. It's like, oh, plus 10 damage, but minus 3% crit or something. So true to the sort of theme and vision for the game, there is no like I win trinket or like just something that's straight up awesome. Everything is forces a decision on your part as far as like who's the best, you know, who's the best place to use this, who's gonna benefit the most while suffering the least from the negative effect of it. That kind of thing, which I think is really cool. It's 4:53. Sweet. I want to show that stuff that Pierre was doing.
Oh, you want to hit him with the Shift P?
I want to hit him with the Shift P. Yeah.
Man, you show all the secrets.
No.
Watch a bunch of stuff break by hitting Shift P.
It might break. Yeah.
Oh, it will.
Hang on a second here.
Assuming you can get into the dungeon.
All right. Yeah. Assuming. Okay.
Show the activity log.
I haven't done any activities.
I have a screenshot. I could give you one, but
yeah, so I haven't done any activities. So this is all obviously, you know, work in progress. Let me get a couple dudes here. This is a terrible party. I'm not even going to provision them. Whatever.
Reason the text is gone is because we're going to localize that.
That's right.
Oh, good. I was actually wondering myself.
Problem solved. Well, it's not solved in the sense that it's been localized, but
It's hardly been solved.
problem thought about. So, okay, so here we are in the room. Obviously, these guys aren't animated yet. The Jester and the Leper, we just got them in. So here we are in the halls, okay? So this is the game. Dun, da, da, da. Everyone's pretty familiar with this. Wait for it. Shift P.
Hit him with it.
What happened? I fluttered my eyes. Oh my god. It looks 3D. Super Diorama Town. It's so awesome. Torchlight's going down.
You should show him the new color grades too.
Yeah, I'm trying to burn it down here.
You can do that by holding T and minus.
That's all messed up.
Or pressing
Yes,
T and
that's
minus.
right. But yeah, you can see kind of how like the floor works in perspective now. I'll turn it off again. So this is just like straight scrolling with the film strip and parallax, just like with on top of flat art. Pop this on. Dun, 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 dun. So cool. Makes the whole thing feel really deep. So yeah, then we've got color grading in for the torchlight, so I can actually play not just before it was just multiplying red down on top of it to get that like red October kind of thing. The closer you got to the end of the torch. So now I can play with everything from like levels to hue. So as the torch gets down, things get redder. No problem. No problem. This is really bad. And then the torch goes out, and you have to walk around in the dark. So now the dark looks like the dark, and you have no torchlight. So a lot of cool graphical stuff that our programmer Keir is kind of just taking it on himself to throw in the game. And I think once we get it all like gelled together and working well, it's gonna be really awesome.
It's still work in progress.
Yep.
So.
Okay, Buzz, I'm almost done. I'll come upstairs. I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, you look
I thought
great.
you were laughing at the tooltip.
You look great. My kid just showed up in a Spider-Man mask and Spider-Man underwear and nothing. Okay. So yeah, I think that's really cool, and it actually helps separate the interactive objects a little bit better too. So that's kind of some neat stuff.
Can we all take this moment to just comment on how badass the Leper is and how fun he is?
Yeah, I want to get into a fight with him because his combat idle pose I'm really happy with.
Brooks would be having a coronary right now to see that you picked the two unanimated guys that are running around.
Hopefully you fight those spiders. Those spiders look sick.
Yeah, they twitch and jiggle everywhere. So a lot of the stuff doesn't work, like the HUD elements and things disappear when I go to the Shift P mode. And that was a trap thing. Let's get all fixed up. Come on, here's the fight. Awesome.
Big door bug.
Yeah.
Oh, some brigands. Cool. So yeah, I bump the light back up again. I kind of like this pose.
Yeah,
it works pretty well. And then, so the Leper is all about these big crazy hits, but he has low accuracy. So, kind of the tactic is you can burn a turn and do a self buff on him, and then the next turn he'll hit like amazing. Also over the buff. I got nothing.
Oh, he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, so all the camera stuff is kind of screwed up right now. FYI. Okay, wait for it. And yeah, the Leper doesn't dodge either. He just stands there. He's like, I don't care.
I think that particular buff you have on him isn't the one that really helps his attack.
Oh.
It helps him tack. There's the two, the Revenge and then the Focus or whatever, but I think you have the Solemnity.
Well. Isn't that something?
Fire is ruthless.
It is. Yeah. So I'm playing on 4.3 too, by the way, guys. Like, my Cintiq is not one of the new widescreen Cintiqs, so... okay, give me the Leper. The Leper! Hugh, is that the single target?
No, go chop.
Chop it up.
And he misses.
Yeah, but that's the Leper though. He's very inaccurate, but when he hits, it's gonna leave a mark.
I like that one too. So yeah, that's kind of some of the stuff we've been working on. It looks really janky compared to like the PAX footage and stuff we captured because we kind of went in and ouch. changed up a bunch of stuff. But that's kind of how game development goes. It gets looser and jankier and weird, and then you tighten it up again, and kind of ebbs and flows. The Leper is, totally a blunt instrument. He can like one-shot guys, or he can completely miss, and so that's an interesting thing. Like, you might be wanting to stack accuracy trinkets on him at the expense of some other stat just to like bring his accuracy up, or you might be just like, forget it, I'm just going to stack even more damage on him, because so that when he does hit, he's just like unstoppable. Let's
do it. Oh, well, nice. A good hit. Definitely not one of his best, but
cool. So yeah, that's kind of where things are at.
All right. Any last? Do we have any last minute questions to address, Keir?
I think that's a good way to end it.
Okay.
You can answer these questions next time.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll show. This is his camping pose. He actually takes it off, but you don't really see anything. So, have a good one, guys. See you later.
That's rad.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll be back again. And, as always, you can follow us on Twitter, @DarkestDungeon, Facebook, Darkest Dungeon, website, Darkest Dungeon. You can email us at Red Hook Games. Feedback at Red Hook Games. What's that, Keir?
What's the YouTube?
I don't know. What's our
Red
YouTube?
Hook.
Red Hook?
Red Hook Studios, Red Hook Games, Red Hook something. Red Hook Games.
Red Hook Games, yeah. And, we'll be as transparent as we can, and we're looking forward to seeing those results. Actually, last thing, let's just get a quick update. So, 2,500 respondents, Silk Road at 38%, Nomad at 33%, Pirates still at 28%, so the spread's getting a little bigger.
Seems like
it looks like Silk Road is going to be it, to be honest. The relative distances are pretty consistent.
Now there will be the unanswered question of, did we bias it by putting a male pirate picture?
I don't think so.
We'll never know.
But we'll never know. Yeah. Anyway, cool.
All right, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.